What up, YouTube? It's Two Fat Guys Pull Us, and we've got some breaking comic book news. Crazy. I mean, we actually do have some breaking news. So we didn't talk about it last week. I think it was either last week or the week before. It was announced that Nick Spencer's Spider-Man run, Amazing Spider-Man run, was coming to an end, or coming to a head, on issue 74. And
Thank God.
thank God. And this week, we got the news that the creative team is changing, and we are continuing. We're going on with the numbers. We're not rebooting at a number 1. We're starting at issue 75. Marvel.com has a new article up about the new 75 issue, and it reads, "A new team of writers take Spider-Man beyond your wildest expectations in Amazing Spider-Man number 75. We got Zeb Wells, Kelly Thompson, Saladin Ahmed, Cody Ziegler, and Patrick Gleason bringing you a new era of Amazing Spider-Man this October." So we got some heavy hitters there.
Yeah, I'm actually super excited about that creative team.
Are you? Or are you being disingenuous?
No, I'm being serious. I am
Okay.
real. So the one thing that I'm not a super big Spider-Man fan. But the one thing that does attract me is the humor. And so immediately, as soon as I saw Zeb Wells on there, I was like, done. Like, okay, I'll at least check it out because, I really enjoy his humor. And then Kelly Thompson, I haven't read a ton by her, but everything I have read has been great. And Saladin Ahmed, same thing. I have read very little by him, but everyone says that his current Spider-Man Miles Morales is really good. So
yeah, I've read a couple issues of Morales, and they've been enjoyable.
Yeah, and Patrick Gleason, I mean, he's kind of taken over of the modern iconic Spider-Man imagery, doing all of the web covers and stuff like that.
I will say I might get a little flack for this. We're going to continue reading the article, but I'm just going to say this right now. I'm kind of glad, at least at the moment, we're not getting any more Bagley Spider-Man. I'm not digging that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like I know he's got, he's due his respect. He's been on Spidey for a while, but it's just like I'm over that.
Excuse me. I think Bagley, his art fits with the era he got popular in, which is
Right.
to 2005. Like that's it. It very much feels like that era, and so to see it in a modern book to me is a little bit jarring.
It's just a little off-putting. Like I don't know. I guess we're spoiled, right? Like we've got so many great. And I'm not saying he's not a great artist, but just like I'll just kick back to
not
our
our
current.
style.
No, he's not. I mean, you go back to our Thor that we're reading, and with Nick Klein. You go with the current ending of Venom with Stegman, or you go with X-Men with R.B. Silva and Pepe Larraz. Like they're just so. I just feel like the bar is set so high. So when they brought Bagley back for that, I was kind of like, you're not making me want to pick up the book anymore.
If there's one thing that we're learning about Marvel, it's that they are all in, and I mean all chips forward, all in on cashing in on 90s nostalgia.
Yeah, for sure.
Now that's it's not a critique. I'm just saying that is what it is, and so I think that's why we get a lot of Bagley on this book.
Right. So, a bold new age of Amazing Spider-Man on the horizon. Starting in October, Amazing Spider-Man will return with a story so bombastic that it will take the greatest team of web writers and arachnid artists ever assembled to tell it. And then we got the ones that we talked about. They will all team up for a thrice monthly title to shake up the Spider-Man mythos in ways no one will see coming. The saga will kick off with Amazing Spider-Man number 75. So let's just pause there. 3 issues a month. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I guess because I'm so like burnt on Spencer's current run, with like the constant, 2 issues a month plus any kind of king size issue or special tie-in. And I hate saying that because when I first got into it, I was like, oh, this is awesome, like Spider-Man every week. And then I just got burnt out, but it was burnt out because I felt like Spencer's story just stretched on and elongated so long. So I really hope pulling all these artists and writers in will make it worth buying a Spider-Man book every 3 weeks, or 3 weeks out of the month.
Yeah. I would almost put money on it now that we only see this thrice monthly, um, 6 months at the most.
I think so.
I don't even think 6 months. I think what they're probably doing is, and part of what makes me think this is the non-renumbering. I think that we're probably going to get a jam-packed, probably really great story that is going to be the setup of a new Spider-Man era. Again, not as a Spider-Man reader, but just as someone who pays attention to comic books. I think that Marvel realizes the error of their ways with Peter Parker in the past 10-ish years. I think they're ready to get him back to being more adult, back with Mary Jane, maybe even some kiddos, like actually being adults finally.
Well,
And what?
well, I was gonna say, funny you saying something about Peter Parker. It's teased in the article that we may not be seeing Peter for much longer
Exactly.
in Spider-Man.
Exactly. So that's what I mean, is that I think in some we're gonna get some great comic book voodoo where Peter Parker dies and then they have to go through the multiverse, and the only multiverse one they can find is the one that's exactly like this Peter Parker, except he's 30 years old.
Right.
You know, something like that. And then, but I think Ben Reilly is, you know, now that we're seeing it's focused, it even says, I don't think we finished reading it.
Yep.
Saga will kick off Amazing Spider-Man number 75, where Ben Reilly will return to take back the mantle of Spider-Man. Backed by the Beyond Corporation, the captivating clone of Peter Parker is determined to be the best version of Spider-Man there ever was. And, as yesterday's teaser showed, this could have fatal consequences for Peter Parker.
Oh no.
And so, I mean, I'm telling you, I think this storyline is going to be a big in scope, and that's why we're doing it 3 issues at a time. None of these writers, I think, are currently overwhelmed with a bunch of books.
No.
And so, and I'm sure they've been working on this for a while. Hey, let's knock it out. We're going to get, you know, let's say 5 months worth, 15 issues. That's a nice, good size hardcover, you know, and we're going to pump it out. And by the end of it, we're going to have a new status quo, Peter Parker and Ben Reilly. And then, boom, we're going to have 2 Spider-Man books. We're going to get a reboot of Amazing Spider-Man with Peter Parker, and then Clone Saga Part 50 million with Ben Reilly.
I mean, dude, I can dig that. I'm all about it. Like I told you before I got into comics, like, again, this is so basic, but like my favorite costume of Spider-Man, I didn't know anything about it, was Riley. His
Spider.
yeah, like I love that version. Like I remember being a kid being like, dude, that's a dope. Like I like Spider-Man, don't get me wrong. Like I like Spider-Man's costume, but when I saw that one, I was like, I mean, and that's his Scarlet Spider's costume is like pure 90s. And I think in the best way, to be absolutely honest. Like I know I was being very critical of Mike Bagley, but like I love that costume. And I know that they're teasing that this is going to be the new costume. That's great, but I hope we do get to see a little bit of the original Scarlet Spider costume before we get into this. But I'd be totally for that. Like 2 Spider-Man books, one with Riley and one with Parker. Like I'd be totally down with that.
Yeah, I think, and again, this is some pretty hardcore speculation here. But I think that with the new Spider-Man movie coming out, the new live action, and then they're also working on Into Spider-Verse 2.
Yep.
And they're working on Spider-Woman. I think at this time, 6 months from now, maybe a little bit longer, let's just say March. Let's say March next year. We're going to be at a point where Spider-Man is going to be at its biggest high in probably 5, 8 years, 10 years.
Right, yeah.
And they're going to want 4 Spider-Man books coming out each month. So by that time, we're going to have Amazing Spider-Man. We're going to have the Ben Reilly book. We're going to have a Miles Morales book. And probably, it seems like Nonstop Spider-Man will probably still be going on as well.
Yeah, and then, you know, I say it every week when we review it, but God, I hope they just do an ongoing Silk book. I would love that. I would absolutely, because I know, like, the other thing that we, you know, we're not going to, we can kind of talk about it here, since we're talking all things Spider. You know, Amazon just picked up I believe their director or executive producer. I don't know what they picked up. They picked up something for their Silk TV show that they're coming out with.
Amazon?
I think it's Amazon, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
which is, you know, hey, I've seen some of the stuff Amazon's been putting out, and it's top tier. Like,
Oh, it's very good.
so about it. But anyway, I think this is awesome. I think this is awesome because I was just so discouraged with Nick Spencer's run, and I literally started at issue 44, and I was all in on the Sin Eater saga, and then it just kind of like morphed into this
30 issues.
Yeah, gelatinous blob of nothing, no resolve, no anything. And I try not to shit talk. I try not to be negative, but frick, man, like I will say this feels like it's needed. It feels very I'm very enthusiastic about it. I'm pretty excited about this. And I think for me personally, the one thing that got me going like hell yeah, it was Kelly Thompson. Like when I first read that name, I was like, ooh, I'm digging her Captain Marvel right now. Her Silver Coin issue was fucking fire.
Yep.
And then I personally liked her Deadpool stuff. I thought her Deadpool stuff was fun. So I'm not disappointed at all. I'm actually looking forward. I think, when is this slated again? They said September? Or no, October.
Yeah.
October. So, dude, we're getting ready to do a solicitations video very soon for September. Marvel's starting to slap. I'm just saying that right now. Like, I feel like our summer this summer is kind of meh, and I think the fall for Marvel is going to be pretty eventful.
Be beefy.
So, we love beef. We love beef on this channel, guys.
That's true.
Anyway, that's the news as right now for Spidey. Check it out. Make sure to talk to your LCS if you're interested in this stuff. Get it on your pre-order because it's coming soon. I mean, obviously it's not out right now, but when October solicitations come out, get it on that. Get it on your FOC. Get that thing ordered. I'm looking forward to it, and the fact that Nathan is looking forward to it, that's saying something. Like,
That's true.
Like, because he doesn't read Spider-Man, he doesn't usually read Venom. And so for him to say that, it's got some consequence there. So before I say read more comics, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, give us a like, because we're in the middle of a milestone giveaway, and the book we're giving away, it's a nice one. We'll talk about it this Sunday, but you're going to want to be subscribed to our channel if you want to enter to win that thing. So either way, guys, thanks for watching, and as always, read more comics. See you guys later.